So my name is Bridget Espinosa. I'm a cross-cultural business consultant. This is a question I'm sure many of you are asking. Why is this white woman named Bridget giving a talk on diversity here in the city of Detroit? So I have a lot in my background that prepares me for this. So first of all, I own a consulting company called Puente Cultural Integration. I taught high school Spanish for over 20 years, and throughout that time, I did a lot of other stuff in my personal life. So I lived in Mexico in undergrad and during grad school. I have 2 degrees in Spanish. I married Francisco Espinosa Calderon from Morelia, Michoacan. And lastly, and most importantly, the reason why we're here today, this is Detroit Startup Week. I was asked to give this presentation today because I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 11 years old. My dad will attest to that. I started walking dogs and babysitting since I was 11 years old. I got my first job hustling on the streets of the suburban neighborhoods that I lived in. And so that was something that I learned from my dad. He is a realtor and showed me every single day how important it is to own your own life. And that's what I'm doing today. Okay, so I promised this was going to be an interactive multimedia presentation, so I'm going to stop talking for a minute. And I want you to stand up. I'd like everybody to stand up, please. I'd like you to cross the aisle, shake a hand. I want you to introduce yourself. This is an entrepreneurial event, right? Detroit Startup Week is all about entrepreneurs. To make it perfectly clear, I am 100% Anglo. My maiden name is Barnes, but I fell in love with the Latin culture from the time I was 11 years old. I took my first Spanish class when I was 11, and I came home and I told my mom, I'm going to Mexico, and she said, you're 11. You're not allowed to go to Mexico when you're 11. And I said, not now, but when I'm older. So it was my dream, my passion to learn, to listen, to live. So we're going to talk about how people identify themselves in the Spanish-speaking world. We're going to talk about defining terms versus individual identity. That's really important, because we can talk all day long, but in the end, it's up to you as an individual how you would like to be defined. How do you identify? And that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what the textbooks say, it doesn't matter about anything. We're very obsessed, maybe even a little bit, about people's ethnicities and the way to call people properly. The political correctness is really important part of the American culture. However, in Latin America, they identify themselves based on the country that they were born in. So if I was born in Colombia, I am Colombiano. If I was born in Argentina, I am Argentina. There's not a lot of hyphens going on. There's not a lot of issues. It doesn't matter what your blood is. It has to do with what your, how you identify. You see me and you assume something else, right? Don't make assumptions. Sometimes people may come to you and they say, my name is Roberto Rodriguez. And you're like, muy bien. And they're like, sorry, I can't speak Spanish. That happens all the time. It happens all the time. Okay, so don't make assumptions. Talk to people, make connections. Everything that is related to culture and diversity is about relationships. It's about communication. It's about authenticity. It's about connections.